Okay, so good afternoon, Jesus. How are you doing today?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing pretty great. Can't really complain. The first thing I wanted to really, I guess, go off into since you are a world renowned film director, you have awards. One thing I wanted to ask you, just for the listeners as well, is how did you get started in the overall entertainment industry?
My start was with a small independent production called Eye on It that I created initially on public access television out of a need to serve my community. And in that process, I was actually teaching myself production, and I learned and discovered that this was something that I was really good at. And the show took off. I had a lot of major artists and celebrities and different people on the show, and it generated a lot of buzz within the culture. It was nothing before it. There was nothing like it that came before it. So it was definitely innovative, but it launched an opportunity for me to get into this space that I didn't realize I had a tremendous talent.
So, with launching that entity, did that help you overall become a filmmaker? Because I know going into your backstory about your life, I know you survived a near fatal incident. And I know that's one thing that kind of helped you go into the life of the entertainment industry as well. So, can you talk about that a little bit more on what was the documental change that happened in your life that made you want to change and go into this industry?
Well, I never wanted to go into the industry. I think even today I'm still very anti-industry. I'm anti-system. I'm the definition of an artist, right? I don't care about money at all. All the decisions I make are to serve the art,
Right.
and I think that's really hard for other people to wrap their minds around. I believe in this idea that I've been trying to promote to friends in the industry of art over algorithms. I think content should be created with you know for people to appreciate you know the beauty and life, and also the messaging should be around to promote elements of social good, whether you're highlighting hardships, not for the purpose of glorifying it, but to create change or inspiration. um, I think we do ourselves a disservice as society to use these powerful mediums that influence our daily lives and our thought process, and our egos and our interactions, to kind of diminish our character. And
Right.
we're in a place where you see the world is suffering. Um, my latest film, and I don't want to jump ahead in your questions, but my latest film is addressing mental health, and I think we're at a critical mass in terms of things are getting really bad, and they're going to get much worse before they get better, and they might not get better if more artists aren't creating content that's going to help save humanity.
Yeah, that's something that I'm glad you kind of mentioned because in the age of technology now, I think a lot of people are setting aside the value of art and their expertise rather than just becoming viral, just becoming famous. So it is a lack of pure artists out here that doesn't just want to become famous, that doesn't just want to get viral on Instagram or social media as a whole. But also, since you did mention some of your films, let's discuss your newest film that's going to come out next year. Well, in December of 2021, your Suicide Saint. So we could talk about that now, for example. I know you did mention a lot about mental health, and that is one thing that you like to emphasize about with this film and also with your activism work as well.
Sure. Suicide Saint is a film that we're going into production now. We're in pre-production. We're going to be shooting this fall between Newark, LA, and Mexico. We have a phenomenal cast of um, very, very talented artists. One of our leads is actually a new actor. He's been in some independent stuff and some projects that I worked on. He played a supporting role in my last film, Asian Mob. But I was I was just so amazed by his talent, um, just this raw talent and this presence, um, that I wrote this character entirely for him. We actually, well, inside story, I turned down 4 million cash already because I had another investor offering to um, put some money into the film, because that's not the whole budget, but put some money into the film, and they wanted to plug in. They loved the story so much and the concept, that the caveat was that they wanted to plug in one of their guys to play this part, this lead part. And I was like, no, there's nobody else who can play the character Vincent Cross, besides Ron Aviator Watson. So yeah, so Suicide Saint is my next production. We're going to be dropping the film late next year. We're looking at a release date of 12/22/21. So we're way in advance of preparing for that in terms of
Right.
marketing. But the market is important because the film isn't just about a movie drop and people going to see it. It's about this movement that we're creating to drive awareness around mental health. So a lot of our engagement now, and a lot of films don't do PR this with this much lead time, but we're doing one phase of PR and interviews now, more around the production, because we are providing access to the set for students at Capital Prep, and a unique partnership with the Sean Combs Foundation for our SICK Film School. SICK is SIC, stands for
Right.
Social Impact Content. So everything, correlates, all the synergies. We have an amazing partnership with the Jordan Porco Foundation. The United Nations is backing the film, but we're doing a lot of PR now, not for me to be any more famous, right? Because you said you're not doing this to get famous. By the way,
Right.
don't follow me. Don't go to Hezues R at Instagram and follow me. I don't want more followers, because then I won't be an artist. Then I'll have to be an influencer, and I don't want to be that type of influencer.
Right. I definitely think it's a huge difference between an artist and an influencer.
It is, and it's a terrible shame because um, you know, art is the thing that has the power to give us, to inspire us and give us purpose, right? And then when
Right.
you have somebody who's an influencer, we kind of regulate all that down to like an OnlyFans account, or like like the things that people are getting after are very selfish intentions. Like it's about personal gain.
Right.
And I think the point of art is about not what you can take from society, but what you can give. And everybody's putting themselves in a position. It's great that technology allows us to self-publish, and you don't have to go, through the bureaucracy, or the barrier to entry in these studio systems, or publishers or radio stations. You can just put out your own content. But then, you know, it behooves us to that we then have all this power that we're just throwing away by, populating the world with a bunch of nonsense. I have a good friend of mine who says mediocrity is the new black. Like that's the trend right now.
Exactly.
The standards are lowered, if you will. But I think in chaos there's always opportunity. I think it's also give these times are also giving birth to a lot of genius level artists, right? I think they're just far and few in between. Um, and unfortunately they're not getting the attention they deserve because there's so much distraction with this other stuff. But hopefully this film, the success of this film, makes way for other people to come through with something that has a lot of honest heart and intention, and does some social good. Because the thing that people always respect is numbers.
Exactly.
And as much as I hate the algorithms, and the algorithms aren't in favor of true art right now, if we create some amazing art that does its numbers, then hopefully it'll open the door for other films like this, and other artists and other mediums to follow suit, in music and in fashion and in other areas.